Happy Tuesday, friends. We are moving and grooving through our Simple Systems series. Brianna is traveling home back to Texas, which I'm so excited about, but that leaves me doing the Dream Team Chat solo. And I am totally cool with it because tonight is a topic I am super confident in and also think is so important as we grow and build our business. And tonight we are really talking about having joint conversations and ones that convert to people joining our team, new brand partners, partnering with Scentsy, right? This is what's going to help us grow our business. And also we get to help other people launch their own business. And it may look different than how you're working your business, but what we have found is it is such a blessing when we get to do Scentsy with people. And so we want to be able to grow our teams. Okay, that is a really big part of building your business. And we want to keep it simple. And then honestly, we're really focusing on duplication. I think honestly, that has been something that has been a missing link in the past is doing something well, but then creating a way for other people to do it well as well, making it simple and shareable and able to grasp, change it up to fit you and use. And so that is Brianna and I's goal with the Simple Systems. And so the last few weeks, we've really been diving into that. We did the onboarding system for new consultants and really the best way to set them up for success. Last week, we dived into like the evolution of a Scentsy brand partner, how you can cultivate those relationships. And then this kind of ties into that, where we are really diving into those conversations with people who might show interest in Scentsy or be really great at Scentsy. Okay. And so again, our goal is simple and duplicatable. And so what you'll find in this information is things that you're probably already doing. And you can just kind of piece together maybe what you're missing or try something new. But then the cool thing about this is it is now a document that you can share with your team, that you can look over yourself and then coach with your team. And then we're going to put it in a spot where we can always find it and have access to it. And so I think all of those things together and then matched with the authenticity of how we're going to be talking to people and moving in our business, I think it really creates a beautiful system that will work and be successful. We just have to learn it and then do it and then share it with the people who come behind us. Okay. So this one is a little bit longer as far as notes wise. Again, I shared the notes on the team page. So you can go to the team page in the files tab and it's the one at the very top. It is titled join conversations that convert. Okay. And there are scripts in there that you can use and take and make them your own. And it really walks through all these notes, but I wanted to go point by point and just make sure that we are clear on what it all means. Okay. So step one is that you are starting with curiosity. Okay. Not convincing. We are not trying to convince anyone. We are not pulling anyone down off the fence. Okay. We're not trying to sell the opportunity. We're seeing if it can fit into someone else's life. We're seeing where Scentsy can be a blessing for someone else. Okay. This is the arrows out attitude that Orville Thompson talks about, where when we are focusing on other people, meeting other people's needs, when we are pointing our arrows out, naturally over time, it gets pointed back towards us and it benefits us in great big ways. Okay. We just have to take the selfishness of, I want someone on my team so I can promote, so I can get higher PR, GWV, or so I can get paid at title or whatever it is. Those are all business goals. Those are smart and wise to have, but we cannot recruit from that mindset. We have to recruit from the mindset of how can this help the people that I'm interacting with, the people in my network. Okay. And I also think that it's very important that we start with like simple and open-ended conversations, questions. Okay. So things like, have you ever thought about doing what I do? Or a compliment. You would be so good at this. Have you ever been curious about how it works? Right. So lead with the curiosity of asking them a question, giving them a compliment, allowing them to envision it in their lives, or giving them the opportunity to let you know that they have thought about it. Okay. Okay. Next point. You want to tailor the conversation to their vibe. Okay. Now, we don't know exactly why someone would want to join, but hopefully by nurturing these relationships, having conversations, them being in your network, you can catch a good vibe of why they might want to join. Okay. So someone who is a customer of yours, who's shopping all the time, who would really benefit having a Scentsy account to benefit from the discount. You could say something like, did you know that you can actually get a discount on everything that you're already purchasing? Right? So this really leans into what they would want from this business. Okay. You let them know like, hey, did you know that you can be getting paid on all of this stuff? Okay. So it'd be someone who is a customer already, someone who would be doing it for the discount. Okay. What about a busy mom? Someone who has multiple kids or maybe a newborn baby, or they're just busy all the time, right? You can let them know, hey, I work this into like the nooks and crannies of my day. It's pretty flexible. And that's what I love so much about it, right? You're tailoring why you love Scentsy because you're so busy to why they would love Scentsy because they're so busy. Okay. What if you find someone who's like, what if you have someone in your network who's like on social media all the time? They're a content creator. They're in their stories a lot. They're always sharing their Starbucks coffee or their new lip gloss that they got, right? You could say something like, you could totally blend this into the things that you already love and you can make some money while you're doing it, right? So simply just tailoring what you're saying to the specific person is going to make such a big difference, okay? If you have someone who is maybe sad or depressed or overwhelmed or anxious or lonely, or you can tell that they're kind of in a funk, you can let them know like, honestly, this is I stay because of the community and all the friendships that I've made. Like we have so much fun, right? So these are all additions to the conversations that you can be having that tailor it to who they are and what they would need out of their business. Okay. Step 3. Okay, I am providing some scripts here. I am providing some verbiage, but I do think that it's very important that you use your own story and you use your own voice and you're not copying and pasting everything that you say, that you're not just sending out generic scripts to these people who are hopefully joining your community and getting to know you and talking to you every day and working alongside you, right? Like, you are a human being. We may be using AI to help us in our business, but we are not AI. So make sure that you are like talking to them like a real human. They're connecting with you and who you are and the way that you talk, the way that you share, the way that you vibe. And so make sure that you are connecting with you like as a human. Okay. You don't need to do some like polished pitch. Okay. Like we are not selling anything like life-saving. So we can ditch the professional pitches. Okay. Most people are not wanting to join Scentsy for like a professional work experience. Excuse me. You can also do like little conversation blurbs that really help put things into perspective for them. So a little sentence like, honestly, I joined Scentsy because of this, but I honestly stay now because I realized this. So like, for example, like, I joined Scentsy because I was looking for something extra to do when I was a young mom, and I feel like I was in the trenches of motherhood, but now I stay because it allows me the freedom and the flexibility to actually be home with them and enjoy every moment with them, which is kind of different from why I joined, right? And then also I think it's so important, you guys, especially those of you guys who have been with Scentsy for a year, 2 years, 3 years or longer, that you share like why you stay with Scentsy. And this can look different depending on who you're talking to, right? There's so many reasons that we stick with Scentsy. We love Scentsy. I'm sorry. Sorry if you guys could hear that. I don't even know if you guys could hear that. But share why you are doing Scentsy. Okay. Share why you stay, why you continue to show up. Okay. Step 3, Tanya, is use your story, not a script. Okay. So yeah, keep it with the personal connection. I think like that's just the most important, is that like, we don't want to be robots. We don't want to be copy and paste. We don't need to be like, hey girl, in people's messages of people that we never talk to or have no interaction with. Okay. Like, use your story, be a real human. Okay. Step 4, keep it light and open. Okay. We want to just open the door. We are not trying to like open a door, shove them in, shut the door and lock them in. Okay. We are just simply creating curiosity. Most people will not join the first time you say something to them about it. Okay. Just know that most people are not going to join the first or even maybe the second conversation that you have with them. Okay. We are not trying to cram all the info in one conversation. We are not trying to bog them down. We're not trying to be like, hey, have you ever thought about joining? It's $99 to join and you get all this in your starter kit and you have 15 days to hit your shooting star goal. And once you do, then you're moving on to sensational start. And there's levels 1, 2, and 3, and you get really awesome stuff. And don't forget, we have incentive trips and there's a team page on Facebook. I'll add you and we do dream team chats on Tuesday. And I think that you'd be really great and unbox your starter kit when you get it. Like, it's all a process. Okay. So we don't want to scare them away with like word vomit. In fact, I would say like 1 to 3 sentences when you first ask someone about the Scentsy opportunity is plenty. Okay. We just want to open the door. Okay. So an example script, something like, no pressure at all, but I'd love to show you what it's looked like for me over the years. Right. Or, yeah, I'd love to show you how you can fit it into your everyday life too, right? That is opening the door for more conversation. That's also why I love to ask questions. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? You would be so good at this. Have you ever thought about it? Right? Because it allows you to continue the conversation. You've opened the door, they're giving you something back with the reply, then you can give them back. Whatever it is, right? You can help calm their fears. You can answer any questions they have. You can, expand on whatever fear or objection that they might have, but you have to ask the question and to even get the reply, we have to be cool, calm, and collected. Okay. We cannot like freak them out. Let's not freak people out. Yeah. And then also like leave room for future combos because there will be future combos. So like you don't have to seal the deal on the first combo. So many times when I ask someone like, have you ever thought about doing what I do? They say something like, oh yeah, I have, but I have so much stuff going on. Like I absolutely can't right now. Maybe one day when things calm down. I actually get that a lot. And I'm like, my response to that is usually, girl, I totally get it. You are basically a superwoman with everything that you juggle. Listen, if you're ever curious about how you can fit it into your life in 15 minutes here and there, I'd love to show you. But also, the offer always stands whenever you're ready. Okay. This allows them the in or the out right now, but it also allows me the in later. Okay. I'm never offended by a no. I'm never offended by a ghost, like them ghosting me, or like say we're having a conversation and it falls off. That's life. I do the same thing. Okay. So like I can't even get offended. I really am the same. Okay. And so just know you want to leave room for more conversation because like I said, most people are not joining the first time you have a conversation with them. Okay. Which leads me to step number 5, follow-up matters. Okay. You want to use some sort of tracker, notes on your phone, create a tracker and a spreadsheet. I literally don't care. You can even go into the contacts tab of the workstation and create a tag and tag them like potential teamies, prospects, warm leads, talk to about joining before. Like you can tag them as something so you can like tag your customers that you talk to about it. That way later, if you want to pull up all your tagged people to go follow up with them or send them an email or something, you can do that. I think that's what I'm going to start doing. Right now I have a list on my phone where I keep some notes on like when I last talked to them, what we talked about, anything significant going on in their life, if they were a past consultant before, all that type of thing. Okay. So track your combos. It is so important. You may think that you're going to remember talking to Lisa, who's ordered with you 3 times, but then when Lisa doesn't order for 6 months and your business gets a year or 2 old, you're going to forget that you talked to Lisa until 3 years later. And you're going to be like, oh crap. So write down your list. A few years ago, I found a list that I used to be a pen and paper girl. Actually, I'm like kind of both. It's my type C where I'm like pen and paper and digital. But back in the day, I had my list on pen and paper and it was years old. It was a super old list. And I went back, it was like maybe 5 years later, I went back and I was looking at the list and I highlighted names of people who joined since I looked at that list. And I'm not joking. I highlighted over 30 people. Okay. So what that means is in that 5-year time or however long it was, 3 years, 4 years, I don't know. In that long amount of time that I originally wrote that list of people, and then I looked back over it again years later, over 30 of those people had joined in that time. Okay. So it is so important that you follow up with your people and that you keep a record of who you're talking to. Okay. And then check back in based on their life, not your life, not your timeline. on their life, right? So something like, I know things were crazy with the move, like, how are things going? Or, when you're following up, we have a great join special, like, hey girl, I know things were super crazy last summer when we talked. If things have settled down, I'd love to share the new $20 join promo. I still think that you would be so great at it, right? It gives you the in to have more conversations. We're always going to have join specials. We're always going to have awesome promos going on. So we're always going to have a reason to follow up with them. Okay. And now the timeline varies. People ask me, how often should I follow up with them? It really depends. You're going to have to use your best judgment here. Sometimes I'll follow up with someone the next week, right? And sometimes I'll follow up with someone a year later. It really just depends on the conversations that we're having and the interest that they have. Okay. But let me say, with that, I'm also sending out emails regularly with talking about join information. I'm also posting about it often, right? Like, people know where to find me. People know that I'm recruiting. And then I'll follow up when I feel like it's appropriate. So make sure that you are following up. Okay. Okay. Step 6, focus on duplication. I think this is so very important for longevity. Duplication for your team, right? All of these things we want to be able to teach the people who are joining us. We want to be able to teach them these things. And also, you want to duplicate as much as you can for your personal business. So I'm talking about voice notes about what comes in the starter kit. You can create a voice note and then like save that in your notes of your phone. So you can send a voice note if someone says like, oh, what comes in the starter kit, right? Save text snippets, right? And I'm not talking necessarily about join conversations, but maybe about what shooting star looks like, or common objectives. You can create some like saved replies that you save in your notes for like common objections. If someone says that they don't have enough time, if someone says they could never do what you do, if someone says they live in a place where there's not a lot of people, things like that, you can go ahead and create a 1 to 2 sentence reply to that and have it saved. If you're trying to build your business, you want to duplicate as much as you can. So at least either knowing how to review those quickly, or taking the time to like type those out and have them saved. Whatever you can do to save you some time is going to help. So for example, like the join site of our website, I have that as a saved text on my phone. So I just type in all one word, no space, join site, and my join page automatically populates, right? I have that for like my YouTube channel, right? So if someone just joins and they want some trainings, I type YouTube channel and my YouTube link auto populates, right? So these are things that I have been able to do that help me save some time, create systems for things I'm doing a lot of. I'm super huge on that. So whatever you're doing a lot of in regards to join conversations, things that you're repeating often, try to find some systems and duplication for that. Okay. I always want to recommend that you guys invite people to the join page of your website, or like the opportunity group that we're doing. I don't think we're going to be doing that all the time. But if we are, that would be a great place to pull people into, or send them to the join page of your website. It has so much information, question, like a Q&A section that they can read through, videos that they can watch, like so much stuff. And if you haven't visited the join page of your website lately, you definitely need to do that, because you will see so much information and you need to know what they're seeing when they go to your site to join. So make sure you're clicking around and you're familiar with that too. Another way that you can do some duplication, which this is something I'm hopefully going to be working on next week, is creating a boards page for people who are interested in joining. Okay. So I saw someone else do this with a different company, and I was like, that's actually super smart, to where if someone is interested in joining, you can share this link with them, and it has a little bit of your story. You can have pictures, videos, text, links on there. So everything that they might be interested about is like on this board, and it's your board. You're not sending them to the Scentsy website, right? You're sending them to your board. And so I thought that was really interesting. If I can create that, I'm happy to create a general one and share it with you guys for you guys to duplicate and use it as your own. But that would be a really great option as far as having something for when people are interested to send them that, right? And then follow up with that, of course, right? So just find some systems of duplication for you. Okay, Lindsay, same. I need to be using the boards app too. Okay, those are all the notes, but I have some bonus like conversation starters. So this is just some verbiage. And I think I said some of these, but like, you'd be so good at this. Have you ever thought about it? Have you ever been curious about how I make money with this? That's fun. That's a fun one. You're already sharing things that you love. You should totally do this, or you could totally do this. If you ever wanted a behind the scenes of how I work, I'd love to show you that. I love that because then you can like hop on a FaceTime with them or hop on Zoom with them or even just text them like, girl, I literally work my business in 15-minute sprints. Like, look, this is what my workstation looks like. It's all user friendly, right? So like give them some behind the scenes stuff. You can also do this without like asking them if they want to see that by posting it in your stories. Like whenever I'm printing something for my business, labels, printables, like I'll always take a quick little like video snippet of it coming out of my printer. Or if I'm making samples, you know, I'll take a quick video of me making samples. And this helps people be like, oh, that's how she does that. Or, oh, that's what she does. Or like, oh, dang, she does that herself, you know, like, so give people behind the scenes look, and then it also creates more opportunity for them to have conversations with you. Okay. And then this isn't in my notes, but just a bonus. If you are using like stories, Instagram stories, maybe Facebook and TikTok, I'm not sure, but like polls are so good. People love giving their opinion. Polls and like the question box. So if you are like talking about something, put a poll that's relevant to what you're talking about, or a question box, right? So if you're talking about Scentsy, like the cheers to 20 years box of goodies that you got in your story, you can put up like a little question, like a little selfie with you in the box after with like a little question box on it. Say like, have any questions about Scentsy? And then like put them in. And then here's what I want you to do. I want you to message people, message me, message these friends on the Dream Team chat, message your best friend, message your mom and say, hey, go ask some questions in my poll on Instagram. Okay. And then you have some answers that then you can share on your poll. Okay. So sometimes you just have to rally the troops. If your people aren't biting, rally the troops and just give them the information some sort of way. Okay. So that would be a really great way to start sharing this information before you even have the conversations. Okay. I promise you guys, if you nourish what you're trying to do, meaning if you really say, okay, this is what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to get some recruits, and you start moving in such a way, sharing behind the scenes stuff, talking about your Scentsy business, setting the scene, set the scene, and then start having these conversations. Okay. If you're just like out of nowhere, just asking 15 people if they've ever thought about joining Scentsy, but you're not really sharing Scentsy or the business side of Scentsy, it might come out of left field. I'm not sure. I'm not in your business. We all work our business different ways, but I would really encourage you guys to like set the tone that you are like open to growing your business. Okay. Talk about the join opportunity, talk about what Scentsy has done for you, and then like sandwich it with some conversations, and some asks with your people. Okay. So my challenge for you guys as we're rounding out this training, I want you guys to figure out in this whole training some verbiages that you could use or add or switch up to what you're already doing. Okay. And then I really want to encourage you to have 3 join conversations this week. Okay. Think about your best customers, people who are always watching your stories and engaging with you, people who have maybe bought Scentsy in the past, but it's been a while, people who are super social on social media that you know, that you connect with. Okay. Don't cold message people, right? But think about the people in your life. They don't even have to be customers as long as you have a connection and talk with them. Okay. I want you guys to try to have 3 join conversations. And the cool thing is we have some scripts, we have some verbiage, right? We have the evolution of a Scentsy brand partner. So if you are struggling with the building your community or nourishing your community, you can work on that. Okay. You can still do all this within the week. Okay. But 3 join conversations. And then if it is fruitful, if they are interested, you can invite them to the opportunity night on Thursday. We can invite them to that group up until Thursday at 5:59 p.m. because the live is at 6. Frankly, they could be added to the group after and still view the post. I wouldn't say much long after. We want it to be relevant, but like they can join the group Thursday, they can join the group Friday and see the stuff in it. That would be a really great segue and support for you as the consultant wanting to grow. It would be a really good support for you to have them join in this week or to have them join that group in this week. So utilize the momentum of these starter conversations, the evolution of a brand partner, all of these things, right? To hopefully get you a teammate. And then when you get the teammate, you can use the onboarding system that we created to then onboard them so they are set up for success, right? So hopefully these systems are helpful for you to establish goals for your business and align your business with the things that you want for your business, but also help align your team and your future teams for the things that they're going to want in your business too. So tonight, join conversations. Hopefully it was helpful for you guys and you learned something new.